no, what I'm saying is, let's just say that Meech didn't know about, Tammy setting up, was gonna set up Cuffy and the Mexican Suarez or whatever, right?
Right.
But after he's found out, because everybody knows she's an informant now, they're still doing the show with her. They're still dealing with her. She was still on the red carpet for BMF.
Set up by one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech. My dad and Meech have been friends for 30 years plus. I've known Meech my whole life. I look at him like an uncle.
The internet has been ablaze with rumors after 50 Cent called Black Mafia family founder Big Meech a rat for collaborating with Rick Ross. However, it appears that the drama is just beginning as Big Meech responded, sending 50 a severe warning to back off, or else 50 would launch a barrage of posts disparaging Big Meech following the announcement that Big Meech and Rick Ross would be performing together at a Welcome Home show in Florida. The time has come, Ricky Ross. February 13th is coming up. Get your tickets now. As you are all aware, 50 Cent is one of Rick Ross's biggest operations. He is the type of person who demands total loyalty from anyone with whom he does business, so he took the Big Meech and Rick Ross collaboration very personally. However, Meech is now retaliating, claiming that 50 Cent is the real snitch here and that the only reason 50 is crying about this is because he is upset that Meech is doing business with his op guys. Now let's get started. The fact that 50 Cent truly views people as his enemies is something we should all be aware of by now. He is a professional hater, and it appears that Big Meech is the most recent to fall victim to 50 Cent's web. It all began when 50 posted a picture of BMF, who is Tammy Cowan's, saying, "This is going to blow your mind, doctor, you coming soon." The facts are stranger than fiction, and 50 was referring to BMF. TV shows that follow the Black Mafia family in a crime drama. There are a number of important characters in this drama, including Demetrius Fenner, also known as Big Meech. The show debuted on Starz on September 26, 2021, and has since been renewed for 3 more seasons. However, season 4 has not yet begun. In the 2000s, the brothers founded BMF Entertainment, which was ostensibly a promotion agency and record label for hip-hop music, but was actually a front for their money laundering operations. In the show, Big Meech is the main character, and his son Demetrius Fenner Jr. plays his role. Big Meech and his brother Terry Southwest T. Fenner, played by Haitian-American actor Da Vinci Rose, came from the dilapidated streets of Southwest Detroit in the late 1980s and formed one of the most powerful criminal families in American history, which became known as the Black Mafia family. It was revealed in July 2019 that 50 had started working on a TV show about the Black Mafia family, which he would executive produce for celebrities. One of the production firms involved in the project was Gunnet Films and Television's Incorporated. Tammy Cowan is another important character in this tale. In a 2014 interview with Straight from the A, Tammy, who is allegedly Big Meech's closest friend and business partner, referred to Big Meech as her bestie. Tammy is the co-producer of BMF and co-producer of a similar 2012 show called BMF: The Rise and Fall of a Hip-Hop Drug Empire. Since 2008, Tammy and Big Mech have worked closely together, with Tammy serving as Meech's business partner. 50 Cent then went one step further and posted a picture of a rat with the caption, "I think I'm Big Meech 50. The biggest mistake he ever made was not maintaining his relationship with Tammy Cowan, and her tell-all documentary reveals the truth. Alright, what is 50 Cent talking about? What secrets is Big Meech hiding? Hold on tight, because we're about to delve into the messy details. 50 Cent called Big Meech a rat in what appeared to be an unprovoked attack, but it actually started when Big Meech revealed that he was working with Rick Ross on a Welcome Home concert in Florida later this month. 50D was upset about the collaboration and made it clear by posting those posts in which he called Big Meech a rat. This was because, as everyone knows, Rick Ross was a correctional officer in the past and is thought to still have close ties to law enforcement and may even be an informant. 50Y and Ross have been at odds for nearly 20 years, and throughout that time, 50 Cent has never missed an opportunity to remind Ross that he is a correctional officer who cosplaying as a lord in a 2015 interview with Tim Westwood. 50 called him a desperate fraud.
What about you now?
In 2019, 50 made an appearance on Los Angeles radio station Real 923 to interview DJ Head and Bootleg Kev. When the subject of Rick Ross came up, 50 did not mince words and reaffirmed his belief that Ross has no bearing on the music business, stating that there is nothing about his career that he admires. Jim Jones, prison reform MHM, and all of the individuals in the jail system who have been unfairly convicted and mistreated before he rose to fame as a rapper and businessman, 50 Cent had a lot of legal issues. Mogul, as we know him today, was just a young man attempting to make ends meet in the South Jamaica neighborhood of Queens, New York City. His mother died when he was 8 years old, and he turned to the streets to sell that white powder when he wasn't in school or at the boxing gym where he spent most of his time. So, yes, you can understand why 50 Cent doesn't want to be associated with a man who used to put people like him in jail and who is most likely still an informant. Rick Ross responded to 50 Cent on his Instagram stories, calling 50 a hurt, and he went on a tirade, telling 50 to stop feeling this way.
Nigga took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this personal, we get into the motherfucking money. Now, Big Meech, February 13th, that concert gonna be off the motherfucking book. Putting this foot up you and leaving it in your motherfucking intestine. You know what's going down. Car show bigger than ever. Ricky Rose, the biggest.
Here's the kicker, however. 50 Cent wasn't calling Rick Ross a rat just because he linked up with Rick Ross long before any of this started. There were already rumors that Big Meech became a federal informant to shorten his sentence. See, the BMF reigned untouched for years, despite being on law enforcement radar since the early 1990s. It wasn't until 2003 when the DA and FBI joined forces to begin Operation Motor City Mafia that law enforcement started making progress in taking down the Black Mafia family it started. With a bunch of arrests of low and mid-level members of the organization like Raphael Smuff, Allison Jabari Hayes, Dar Carlo Hoskins, and brothers Omari McCree and Jeffrey Lear. When these guys got busted, they were either slapped with serious charges or turned to informants made to wear taps and supply the feds with operation information. This tactic worked because it slowly weakened the organization from within and gave the feds a very clear picture of how they operated. By 2005, Operation Motor City Mafia had reached its peak and arrests were flying all over the place. The Fed seized millions worth of assets, firearms, and cash from the BMF safe houses. Big Meech and his brother Terry were among the other high and mid-level members of the group who were also detained.
Demetrius Flannery and his brother Terry ran one of the country's largest operations during the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. The pair had hundreds of employees, generated hundreds of millions of dollars, and even had a successful record label and magazine. But in 2006, the brothers were indicted in a federal RICO case originating out of Georgia.
BMF was the first group that was accused of being both a criminal organization and a record label.
Attorney Josh Schiffer says Demetrius, also known as Big Meech, is highly regarded because he never took a deal or snitched on his co-conspirators.
And he went down. And when he went down, he and his brother were sentenced to 30 years in prison.
The brothers were accused with 2 charges of possession with intent to distribute more than 5 kilograms and conspiracy to distribute 5 kilograms or more of white possession with intent to distribute more than 500 G. They were also charged with conspiracy to launder monetary instruments. Big Meech insisted on his innocence throughout the 2008 trial, but the overwhelming weight of the evidence led to his conviction and 30-year prison term. However, in October 2024, it was announced that Big Meech would be released from prison to a residential reentry program in Miami. Even though Big Meech's official release date was set for August 17, 2025, his family and fans were still perplexed as to how he managed to get out of jail much earlier than he should have. This led to rumors that the only way he could have done so was by striking a deal that required him to become an informant, and his best friend was the one who helped him do so. Cowan. Tammy, for those who are unaware, here's a fun fact. The rights of Big Meech's life tale belong to Tammy Cowan. Another interesting detail is that he sold her the rights. In 2022, Tammy Quinn gained notoriety as a government informant. In an interview with Vlad TV, Tana Welch, the first lady of the Black Mafia family, revealed how she first learned that Big Meech had sold his life rights to government informant Tammy Cowan. Tammy had launched a smear campaign against her and attempted to have her sent back to jail. She claimed to be disgusted and disappointed to see people who were supposed to be her friends cuddling up to Tammy on the red carpet for the premiere of the BMF series.
I get down to my probation officer, my son in the car. I say, if I don't come out in a couple of hours, call the lawyer. I get in there, Tammy Cohen is a government informant. So she says, my probation officer is sitting there and some other guy. I can't remember his name, but I just knew he was part of the DEA. And I come in, I go in, I'm like, this is everybody's nightmare. I already did my time. Only thing I wanted to come home and do is take care of myself, take care of my family, make amends for my mother, redeem myself through, the world, or anybody that I felt like I affected. So they told me, and he says, you know what this is about? And I said, no. He said, well, you threatened a government informant, and that's a federal offense, and it's a violation of your probation. And I said, well, who did I threaten? I don't know what you're talking about. So he go over the story, and I'm sitting there, and I'm telling you, I've heard of people killing themselves not to go back to prison. I went to prison, man. I went to prison. When I say I came home, and all these people were going at my head. All these people I helped. All these people, I'm a mother. I was somebody's daughter. I lost my father, lost my mother. I was somebody's daughter. And here you are. You didn't put in no work. No work. All you did is start writing a man, and this man befriended you, gave you his life rights. And just because you've been a government informant since 2008, you have the right to tell them that I threatened you. They told me that they were gonna arrest me. They were gonna charge me.
But wait, this tale gets wilder. As part of his bargain with the government, Tammy had to arrange for someone else to enter the St. Louis pin, even if he was going to get Big Me out. Gatling, Dien, aka Cuffy, and Big Meech were longtime business partners and friends who had been doing business together for more than 20 years, starting in the early 1990s. According to Cuffy, he was the first to put $1 million in Big Meech's pocket. Big Meech was also close to Cuffy's family, and his daughter Tamara essentially called him later. Uncle Tamara revealed how they learned that Big Meech had used federal informant Tammy Cowan Gatling to set up her father's Cuffy. I'm making this recording in regards to my dad. He's Dion Gatling. Most people know him as Cuffy, but I wanted to make this recording so I can share light on some facts of my dad was set up by one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Lenner, also known as Big Meech. And my dad and Meech have been friends for 30 years plus. I've known Meech my whole life. I look at him like an uncle. Like, this situation has been completely devastating on so many different levels, and there's still so many questions that aren't answered at this point. I can only shed light on what I know for sure to be facts, and hopefully one day I will have the complete truth. But in 2011, around that time, Meech reached out to my dad in regards to creating a BMF movie, so he hooked my dad up with a woman named Tammy Coins. At the time, Tammy was Maya's power of attorney. Also, she owned the life rights, so my dad was working with Meech. Tammy basically trying to work on a movie, finally arrested my dad, and we received the discovery. He knew exactly who CS1 was, and he told me and my mom that it was Tammy Coes. At that time, we really did not want to believe. We wanted to give Meech the benefit of the doubt, and it was really, really hard to believe that Meech would set my dad up. It was almost unbelievable. So we were able to like reach out and get a message to Meech and basically let him know that Tammy was an informant. We later received a message from him saying that it had to be a misunderstanding. Just call her, she'll straighten this out. So on. And at this time my dad was like, I'm not dumb, I'm not about to call an informant. Oh, but if you thought that was bad, wait till you hear it from the horse's mouth. Cuffy himself has been pushing this narrative of Big Meech being a snitch for over 10 years now. In a leaked jail phone call, Cuffy broke down in detail how Big Meech sold him out to the feds to save his own behind. How did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you can get caught up in it? How did that happened? So that mean you got to go back to the movie? Okay, well, let me take him back. So me and Tammy working on the BMF movie. I originally owned and paid for the script for the BMF movie, not the show that the 50s were doing on Stars. We were shopping for the film when Tammy was involved, and since she was CS1, CS1 had all of my life rights. What year was this exactly? 09-2010? Well, we pro that was a legitimate business, right business. So let's take it back. The first target was a Mexican cell member from California named Fidel Suarez. He was definitely the first target. He disclosed that Big Meech had further compromised himself by doing business with Tammy and selling his life rights to her. Fidel Suarez was the first target, and his name appears on the paperwork, so Tammy was attempting to get war. The whole situation involving Big Meech working with Tammy to set someone else up is extremely messy.
And how did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it? How did that happen? So that means you got to go back to the movie.
Okay, so well, let me take them back. So me and Tammy were working on the BMF movie. I originally had the script and paid for the script for the BMF movie, not the show that 50's doing on Stars. But I originally paid for the script for the BMF movie, so we were shopping the movie.
So Tammy was involved at that time, which is CS1.
Yeah,
so
Tammy Cowan, CS1 had all Meech life rights.
Right. And what year was that?
This all the way back in 2010.
Okay. So this
we proved that was a legitimate business.
Right.
Legal business.
Right.
So, well, Meech, so let's take it back. The original target was the guy by the name of Fidel Suarez. That was a Mexican cartel member out of California. He was the initial target.
Right. Fidel Suarez was the initial target out of Cali.
His name is in the paperwork.
Right, that's
Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Now Big Meech hasn't personally addressed any of this yet, but rumors are circulating that he isn't going to end his partnership with Rick Ross just because it has hurt 50 Cent's feelings. In fact, he allegedly thinks that 50 Cent is hypocritical for calling him a rat because he started working with Tammy Cowan on the BMF franchise in 2008, around the same time that it became known that she was an informant, and he was aware of it the entire time. So why does 50 Cent working with a known snitch not make him a rat? Big Meech working with Ross makes him a rat, which makes sense. Many people think 50 Cent is being shady as well, and they have been posting comments like, so 50 partnered with an informant, why isn't that the headline yesterday, today, and tomorrow? This isn't the first time 50 knew about Tammy Cowan's, and he didn't care until Meech effed with Ross. It's crazy because she'd been exposed. Tammy Cowan is a federal informant, but until Meech became friendly with Rick Ross, 50 was okay with working with an informant. We'd want to hear your thoughts on this situation, since no one was really talking about it. It's like Jay-Z collaborating with Desire Perez. Do you believe Big Meech went too far by partnering with Rick Ross, or do you believe 50 Cent is acting hypocritically? If you want to see more videos like this, leave a comment below and stay tuned.